Hey folks, Kevin here. Well, it's August 9th, 2023. I'm out in the sugar shack where we dry our garlic and shallots and beans and other things as well. And a couple weeks ago, probably 3 weeks ago, I harvested the garlic and I put them out here on these drying racks right here. These are just simply 4x4, 2x4 frames with hardware cloth, 2x2 spacers in between each one. I put casters on the lowest one to make it easy to move around. And I use a large fan to keep the air circulating through these units to help with the curing process. So it's really important to get the garlic and shallots and cured, your beans cured as well, or dried your beans. And once the curing process is done, we want to drop the temperature. Well, first we want to clean them. We're going to want to cut them off. Now the main stalk is rock hard. I can't compress it at all with my thumbs. There's dirt on it, so what I'll do is I'll use the electric pruners. It's the first time I'm using it for something like this. I'll trim off a lot of the root mass, and I'll cut off the top of this, and then we just give it a gentle rub. Now that it's dried, the soil comes off it with ease, and we just don't want to disrupt the wraps on it. That's the whole thing. It's going to store longer with the wraps intact. One thing I would say is I have gone ahead, turn the switch on for the Klezhi pruner. I've been using this last week pretty heavily, this and the 2 mini chainsaws, and pruning lots and lots of the trees and the spruce trees. And they have a lot of sap in them and a lot of dirt, but if you look at the pruner heads here, the blades, they look like they're brand new. So how did I get that with super ease? Well, I discovered Goof Off when I was doing some searching for cleaning off what are the ways of cleaning some of our media and books and all. And that's a household cleaner that's pretty safe. And I just used a toothbrush, and it was just black. Anybody who's done any pruning knows how the shear heads will actually get. It gets like a concrete on them. And you just spray a little Goof Off on each side. Give it a couple of minutes, use an old toothbrush, clean it right up, then clean it off after that. And you should be disinfecting your pruners. Now with the spruces, I didn't bother disinfecting in between each one. So they all have the same pathogens on them. So what I'm going to do today, so again, it's Goof Off. You can probably find it in any of your stores. And I think that's a really neat tool. I'll order another container just to keep out in the workshop for cleaning my tools and all. So I'm just going to prune. I'm going to go ahead and trim down the garlic the way we like to do it. Give it a gentle rub, and then they'll go downstairs in the root cellar in a dry section, a relatively dry. Humidity I think is about 55%, 45, 55%, and temperatures around 50 degrees Fahrenheit, which this stuff lasts well over a year in that environment. So that's the storage. First we do the harvesting, then the curing, this process here, then prepping it for storage. So we'll get all the extra bulk off here. The rest of it will go out into the compost pile. So I'm going to get started now. see if these pruners are sharp enough to trim the roots. Okay, so it's a couple days later. Did finish getting the garlic cleaned, the roots cleaned off of them, and got them down here in the root cellar. So the garlic bulbs look very good. I'm sure that these are going to be great. The only issue that I would say is we did not grow enough garlic this year to meet our needs. This is about half of what we need. So Thea went ahead and sorted them out and finished cutting off the roots. I had most things set as far as all the stems, got that all out into the compost pile. In here are some of our seeds that we keep for our cover crops, and we keep more seeds over here in the root cellar as well, so we keep them at a constant temperature in the dark, and that works out pretty well. And we really thinned out a lot of our savings down here because we just weren't going through the food as quickly. So all our 2016, all 2017, 2015 canning goods have all been composted. Now some of our dehydrated foods certainly last much longer, so they're over here as well. But Thea keeps on top of all of that. You can see this is how many we used to keep down here. And maybe someday we'll go crazy again, but I don't see that happening. And the Dutch red shallots are kept in here. They are small compared to what they usually are. So this is a higher humidity area. So this is where some of our root crops will be stored, the potatoes and all. So the Dutch red shallots, unfortunately, not a good turnout this year. The garlic, a good turnout, but certainly not a great yield because we just didn't plant enough. So, and the noise you hear in the background is the dehumidifier. That keeps the humidity level in this section, the dry section, under control and keeps the moisture into our wet section where our potatoes and carrots and shallots end up staying over the winter months. So this is a couple days later. I hope this adds some information on how we go through the ends the whole process of harvesting, then the curing process, and then going from the curing process to get them into the storage shade. And that's what this last video is about. So I hope that you found this of value. If you have any comments or questions, tell us how you do your curing and storing of your foods that you're prepping for and all. Thanks so much for watching, and have a super fantastic day. Bye-bye now.